Welcome to another episode of SantorSnakes. In this video, we're going to talk about how we got interested in snakes. And guys, please be sure to stay to the end. We've got a special little surprise for you.
Thank you all for that like and subscribe.
Cue that intro. Alright guys, so we got started with our passion for snakes probably about 4 years ago. It was when Carter here was 3 years old and he was having some difficulties breathing at times. We had to take some trips to the emergency room. We ended up going to see a specialist that recommended that he do daily breathing treatments. And some of those treatments were going to be 30 minutes at a time. And we were thinking about something that he could hold in his hands and really focus on instead of worrying about the mask on his face or the actual breathing treatment itself. We did some research, which we always suggest that you do as well, and that's when we discovered snakes. I think we both quickly fell in love with snakes, but we spoke to some great people at our local pet stores, got to hold some baby snakes, and it just sparked from there. Our very first snake was Princess the corn snake.
She was as long as a pencil, as thick as a pencil, and she was small and very, very cute.
Very cute. It was so cute to see them together. They've actually, grown up together. If you guys follow us on Twitter or see our Facebook page, I'm sure you'll notice a picture of Carter back when he was just a couple years old, and he's got baby Princess all over his face. They're obviously both much bigger now and continue to grow. The snakes for me weren't really an interest as a kid. I didn't know anybody that had snakes, but I never really despised snakes or anything. It was just something that I didn't know anything about or have an interest in. But I'm happy to say that Carter here is getting to experience things that are a little less conventional, like owning a reptile.
Yes.
Yep.
And she was a couple months old.
Right. Princess was only a couple months old when we got her, as well as some of our other snakes. But we have a few snakes that we have adopted as older snakes, whether they are from pet stores or from other people like you and I that just no longer could care for those snakes. So what's one thing that you just really, really love about snakes, Mr. Carter?
Okay, so their tummy is soft, they don't make any noise, and they're just super, super, super sweet and cute.
I agree. They are super, super sweet. Of course, you have to know how to handle them. You have to be aware of body language. In our experience and with our babies, they are all very handleable, very friendly, and that is, of course, a great thing for us and for them. So our second snake we got when Carter turned 5. So we had just Princess for 2 whole years. We definitely took our time to get that second snake, which is something I'm happy that we did, so we had more experience. But we were in a different pet store locally, and there was a snake that was a little bit older, that needed some extra care, had a little bit of a rough time early on.
Whenever she was a baby, she was very, very sick.
Yes, so she had a couple of respiratory infections when she was young. She also had difficulty shedding correctly, but we were ready and willing and able to take her in and give her a wonderful forever home. Carter had birthday money, and he used every bit of it
to buy my new snake.
Yes, and what did you name your new snake?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. I think we went with that name because of her difficult beginning. She was definitely smaller than a snake of her age would normally be, and so we, I guess, predicted that she would always be a little bit smaller than the average ball python of her age, so we called her Baby Girl, and she is definitely a spoiled little baby girl, but in all the best ways. When Carter turned 7, I had every intention of buying him one additional snake from another local reptile store. But when we went in to look around and see what they also had one of my dream snakes that I had been wanting for a while. So we walked out of there with 2 new snakes. Yes, we walked out of there with
2 snakes.
2 snakes. What are their names, Carter?
Raina and Ladybug.
That's right. Raina and Ladybug. Sweet little girls. We've got both of them. They were just a couple months old, and they are growing up.
Yes.
They are doing well.
And Ladybug is a milk snake. Raina is a Mexican black king snake.
Very good. The other 3 snakes that we haven't specifically mentioned yet, we have got this year just at various times from people that were no longer able to take care of their snakes. So we brought them into our family and they are all doing fantastic.
Yes.
That of course would be Sweetie, the Kenyan sand boa, Cuddles, the boa constrictor, and Daisy, another ball python. All right guys, so I think that wraps it up for how and why we got started with our passion for snakes. But in the beginning, we promised you guys a little surprise, and we're going to make good on that. So we're going to come a little bit closer to you so we can show you guys what we've got here. All right, Carter, go ahead and grab one up.
So this is Ladybug's shedding skin.
Yeah, so this is a nice specimen here. We've got a full shed. We've got eye caps, everything. It is a beautiful full shed. Most of the time she uses her humidity hut for her shedding purposes. We'll talk more about that in another video. We definitely love humidity huts for each of ours, and we will talk to you all about that. So that was Miss Ladybug. What is the next one? You're fine. So who is that?
Looks like, yeah, Raina.
Raina. And honestly, we may have those backwards because that one looks a little smaller. So Raina and Ladybug. Ladybug is smaller. So this one must be Ladybug and this one must be Raina.
Yep.
Very good. But nice, good full sheds. Here's Miss Sweetie.
Sweetie. Small.
Yeah, she's not very long, but she's bigger around being a Kenyan sand boa.
Yes.
So she's actually 4 times as heavy as Ladybug, even though she's not as long. Just a different type of snake.
Yes.
Very good.
And next one is Princess.
Yeah, Miss Princess, the first snake. This is not a full shed. The front part of it did pop off at some point, so we don't have the head on that one, but as you can see, Princess is a much larger snake than the others. Yes, I love the markings though. It's just a beautiful shed. Very good. This next one we've got is not in the best of conditions because I did not stretch it out when it was in the drying process, but this is one of 3 pieces from Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy is a pretty good sized ball python. She's at 5 years old. She's, I think, about 1,000 grams right now. Everything, but nice piece of shed here. She does very well. This was actually all just balled up in a tight little ring in her humidity hide, and I did not do a good job getting it out of there and stretching it out to dry.
And here is our biggest snake.
Oh yes,
Cuddles.
Miss Cuddles. Look at that.
And she is not as long as this, actually.
That is very true. That's a great point, Carter. Not everybody probably knows that. That's something that we recently learned watching some other channels. But the sheds are not as long as the snake inside. As the shed is coming off, it actually stretches out some. So I think Cuddles is probably about 5 feet long, even though that's a little bit longer than that.
6 feet?
Yes, I do believe. So she's probably only about 5 feet long. She just yesterday plateaued over the 2,000 gram mark. So she's like about 4.5 pounds. But we definitely enjoyed sharing with you guys all of these sheds from our snakes. Now you guys may have noticed that we did miss baby girl in there. We just do not have a good shed of baby girl to show you. She is doing full proper sheds, and that is of course the most important thing. We just did not have one available to show you today.
Yep.
But we will definitely get that to you guys at some point in the near future. But again, we always appreciate you guys watching, and thank you very much.
Thank you for learning with us.
And we'll catch you on the next one.